News 4 Jax starts right now with a breaking news alert.
Happening right now in St. Augustine Beach. At least one person's in the hospital. Lifeguards say someone was pulled to shore.
We're hearing that swimmer was one of two who were in distress, but the other was able to make it to shore. News 4 Jax reporter Eric Avenay is in St. Augustine Beach, not far from the A Street access point. Eric?
Joy, Tarek, all I can tell you is that this has been a very emotional and traumatizing day for a lot of the people that were out here at the beach, not expecting to see what they saw play out with their own eyes. Let's go ahead and go to some of that video that was given to us from a witness that kind of shows the scene as is when first responders arrived. Now, multiple witnesses are telling us that around 1:30 in the afternoon, two people who were down here from Michigan on vacation, a man and a woman, appeared to have been struggling in the water. We're told that a group of surfers saw what was happening and rescued the woman, but they could not get to the man because the current had taken him. Now, if we can bring it back here live, I want to show you something. They said that current took him about a mile in that direction. That would be north, about a mile from where I'm standing, and he was pulled out of the water near the pier there at that location. Now, I want to also introduce a couple of people here. This is the Exopoulos and the Clashy family who saw this all play out. In fact, you three were part of the surfer group that saw this happen. Tell me, how did you get alerted to this?
So like I was just surfing, and then I heard and I saw people like yelling, "Hey, somebody help, somebody help." And like I told
your sister there? Yeah. And then what happened afterwards when he told you?
After he told me, I told the coach, I was like, Coach, there are two people like far from us that are like they can't stand. It looks like they can't swim. But at first I thought it was a joke. But then when I saw their like heads going underwater, it was like serious. So then I yelled I told my coach, and I said, Coach, there's two people that can't swim and they need help. So he grabbed two surfboards and went with the other coach to save him.
And I understand you saw that when there were two surfers that pulled a woman out first.
Yeah.
And then what happened afterwards? I understand there was a struggle to get the guy out.
Yeah, there was a lot of panic going on in the water, a lot of splashing. The guy, his head submerged under the water. I didn't even get to see the guy, but I saw the girl. She was like crying and like panicking, and he was like bringing her to shore on his surfboard.
And I understand 45 minutes to an hour later, they pull him out. And I understand that what did you see when they pulled him out as they were driving back?
I just saw I heard a bunch of sirens, and I saw a bunch of lifeguards on the back compressing his chest and trying to do CPR to him. And it was just loud, and like everyone was looking over there, and it was just really bad.
Obviously, this is very traumatic to a lot of you guys. I mean, what was going through your mind? Well, let me ask you, what was going through your mind when you saw this?
Well, I saw them. I was really worried because I didn't know if they were gonna make it, and they were screaming for help and crying. So I ran to Coach.
Gotcha. And just for the record, these three, they were part of that. They were in a class, a surfing class. And so, like I said, these three, they saw the people struggling, heard them yelling for help. And that's when two of the people from the surfing shop went and rescued the woman. But again, they were not able to get to the man. And he was taken to the hospital through sources out here that has been in contact with the surf shop that was involved in this. We are learning that the man was taken to the hospital and that he is on life support, and that right now they are trying to notify next of kin. Again, this is that hasn't been confirmed, but this is what we're hearing through sources that has been in contact with the surfers and the surf shop that was holding a class out here. Again, just a very traumatizing day for a lot of people out here. As we were coming in, there were people shaking their heads. There were people practically in tears because, again, this is something that they don't see every day. And you have to also remember, the two people that we're talking about, they're not from here. They're from Michigan. And, you know, it's just one of those things where people out here that know the conditions of the water, they know the currents and things of that nature, and they just know that, you know, this is a place to have fun, but it's also a place where you have to be extremely careful. Of course, we're going to have a lot on this coming up at 10 and 11 o'clock tonight. Reporting live in St. Augustine Beach, Eric Avenay, Channel 4, the local station.